what changed you? Figuring out what have changed me would take years of analysis and maybe therapy. But I only have few days. Yeah, I only had few days to figure it out. So thank you, Nofar, for that. And I think that if I had a question, where are you from? I have the answer. I'm from France. Baguette, croissant, cheese. That's it. Done. But more seriously, until yesterday, I didn't know what to say, what changed me. And when I was thinking of it, it was not just one thing in particular that changed me, and like three things came to my mind. But before I tell you about them, let me start with telling you how I started. If you had met me as a teenager, you would have met a really shy young girl, afraid of talking to people, to strangers, doubting herself very much, and terrified by the idea of stepping outside of her comfort zone. And I was in my own bubble, and I was afraid of everything. I had zero confidence. And if you had told me at the time that I would move abroad, build a life here, be on stage in front of a crowd, telling my story, I would have laughed. And most probably I would have hid behind that wall. So that's about it. So the first thing that came to mind, it was when I was 17. I was a baby. I was super shy. But you need to understand how shy I was. It was like the idea of ordering food or going to the bakery and buy a baguette, because I'm French. Baguette is always involved. It felt like an extreme sport. I was terrified to talk to people. And one day, my parents separated. And my mom kicked out my dad out of the house, and it was just me and my mom. And before that, that wasn't a big change, my dad going out. The change was about my mom. Before that, my mom was the reference point for me. She was the person who knew everything. She was the person where I could go to if I didn't know what to do, and she knew everything. She knew what to do until she didn't. In really few days, she was no longer able to do anything, to answer the questions, to be the rock who was holding everything in the house. And she was just in her bed, not eating, crying all day. You would stop being emotional in 1 second. And suddenly, as a teenager, I didn't know what to do. And for some reason, I had to step in. And I had to take care of my mom, take care of the house. Suddenly, I had to manage the moving house. I had to talk to strangers like real estate agents. I had to manage bills. I had to help my mom. I had to help myself. And that was things that I was not, the things that I didn't think of at the time. But, and in this chaos, I became the parent. I became my mother's mom, which I was not prepared for. But this moment in my life taught me something important, is that I was stronger than I thought. Much stronger. And I didn't realize that at the time, but it helped me grow up. And it helped me manage myself on my own, be on my own, somehow. The second thing, which is not exactly something that you can say that had changed me, but more something that changed the perception of myself, how I was. It was a few years later, when I was 19, 20, something like that, I felt that I had the impression that something was wrong with me. You know, all my friends, they keep talking all the time, endlessly about relationship. Who likes who likes to date who kissed who was jealous of who, blah blah blah, nya nya nya. And they could spend hours talking about this relationship. And meanwhile, I was sitting here thinking, what the hell? Am I missing some software update or something? Because I didn't get the hype. I felt completely disconnected from all of this. Because I wasn't dreaming about boys. I really didn't care. And for some reason, I thought that I was the problem. I thought I was weird. I thought I was broken. I thought I was frigid, if you know what the word is, or Google it. But none of this was true. The truth came out of the face of a girl. One day, she kissed me on the mouth. How dare you? Completely out of nowhere. And then she saw my short face freezing, and then she ran away immediately. The funny thing, which is funny now but not at the time, which is funny is that I wasn't shocked because I didn't like it. No, it's not it. My internal reaction was, wait, come back, kiss me again, I really liked it. What happened? What amazing discovery. And suddenly, you know, things made sense. I wasn't weird, I was not broken, I wasn't cold, I was just gay. That's it. It took me 20 years to figure it out. So, woo, problem solved. Well, it was not entirely solved because it was one thing to understand this after 20 years, but it was also difficult to accept this part of me, and also to accept not to be afraid of other people's judgment. So thanks to that, I understood a little bit more about myself. I understood that I was not someone different. I was just understanding that I needed to change the way I was seeing myself, instead of constantly questioning myself about if I was wrong, if I had something wrong with me. And then the third thing, which is the most important, and I couldn't miss this one, is when I met my wife. Yeah. I like to say that, my wife. But before I met her, I made myself a reason. I said to myself that my love life was over, which is a really reasonable conclusion to make at the very mature age of 24. I was convinced that I would never find love, it's over, nobody will want me. I was really in my dramatic era, you know, like depressed and listening to sad music and everything. And then I met her with her little smile, and you know that smile that makes you realize that she's the one, and that you realize that things will change. And it changed really quickly. Because in just a short time, we made some decisions that would have terrified the old version of me. Moving abroad? Okay. Moving in together abroad in a country where you don't speak the language? Sure. Changing career? No problem, easy peasy. Buying a flat? Whatever. She really, with her, everything seemed possible. And the amazing thing is that she didn't solve all my problems. The amazing thing is that she helped me figure it out and solve them by myself. She believed in me way before I believed in myself. She pushed me when I was afraid. She supported me when I doubted myself. And she reminded me over and over again that I could do way more. I was more capable of everything than I thought. And in so many ways, she's the reason why I'm here now. So what changed me? Three things. A divorce told me how to become an adult. A kiss helped me understand myself better. And my wife, who told me who I could become. Now today, if you see me standing here, talking in front of the crowd without shaking or trying to hide behind the wall, and compared to the 17 years old who was scared, afraid to talk to strangers, and now with today, where I'm here, in a different country, talking to strangers willingly, there's a huge upgrade, there's a huge improvement. So, when I think about it, I don't think this is one specific moment that changed you. I think it's more about people around you. People that challenge you, people who surprise you, and people who support you. So thank you very much.